All right, deep divers. You ready for this? It's Election Day Eve. Trump versus Harris neck and neck in the polls.
Yeah.
And Joe Rogan just threw a major wrench into the whole thing.
Yeah, he endorsed Trump. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's unpack this bombshell.
Talk about last-minute drama.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, the timing couldn't be more strategic. Literally hours before the polls open, everyone's glued to their phones.
Yeah.
Boom, Rogan drops this endorsement.
It's huge, right? We're not talking about some random Twitter pundit here.
Yeah.
This is Joe Rogan, Spotify's top podcasters. Millions and millions of listeners. He's got a platform most politicians would kill for.
And he didn't just casually mention it in passing either. He put out this X post. It said, he makes what I think is the most compelling case for Trump you'll hear, and I agree with him every step of the way.
Wow.
Then he even added, for the record, yes, that's an endorsement of Trump, just to make sure everyone got the message.
So, okay, we've got Rogan endorsing Trump, but this was right after his interview with Elon Musk. And Musk has been very pro-Trump since July. Is there a connection here? It's definitely interesting timing. And remember, Rogan did say he agreed with Musk every step of the way.
So was this like a Musk-influenced decision?
Yeah.
Or was Rogan already leaning towards Trump and Musk just kind of sealed the deal?
Well, it's tough to know for sure. But let's not forget, this wasn't Rogan's first time dealing with the Trump campaign. Remember, just a few weeks ago, Trump himself was a guest on the podcast. And then the week before that, it was J.D. Vance, Trump's VP pick.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So maybe Rogan was already heading in this direction even before the Musk interview. But then there's this other piece of the puzzle. What about Kamala Harris? Rogan tried to get her on the show, but her team declined.
Yeah, that's right. Apparently they weren't keen on her doing a full Rogan-style interview, which, can easily go for 3 hours or more.
Yeah, those things can be marathons.
So her team probably figured it was too risky this close to the election.
I see. So was that a missed opportunity for Harris? Could she have swayed Rogan if she'd gone on the show?
It's an interesting question for sure.
But in the meantime, over in Trump land, the reaction to Rogan's endorsement was pure celebration.
Oh, absolutely. Trump was at a rally when he heard the news, and he couldn't contain himself.
Really?
He actually stopped his speech to tell the crowd about it.
What did he say? Let me see. I've got the quote here. He said, somebody that's very, very respected. He's the biggest there is. His name is Joe Rogan, and he's never done this before. Thank you, Joe. That's so nice. And he doesn't do that. Wow. I mean, you can practically hear the smile in his voice.
It was a major victory lap for him.
I bet. And it shows how much this endorsement meant to him, especially coming from someone who's not exactly known for being a hardcore conservative.
Yeah, it definitely gave his campaign a boost right when they needed it most.
So we've got Rogan endorsing Trump, Trump ecstatic about the whole thing, and Harris maybe missing a chance to counter the narrative. What does all this mean for the election? We'll dive into that right after the break.
This is about way more than just Trump feeling good about himself. This could actually shift the entire election. We're not talking about a couple thousand votes here. Rogan's got a huge audience.
Millions of people hanging on his every word. And he's not your typical talking head on cable news. Rogan connects with a younger, more online crowd. You know, the kind of voters who might not even watch cable news?
Exactly. They're more likely to be scrolling TikTok or watching YouTube, and they see Rogan as authentic, someone who speaks their language.
Someone who doesn't shy away from asking tough questions.
Right. And in an election as close as this one where every single vote matters, Rogan's endorsement could be the deciding factor, especially for those undecided voters, especially in those swing starts.
Yeah, those margins are razor thin.
Exactly.
It's like a political earthquake, shaking things up right before the polls open. But we've got to talk about the other side of this. Rogan's got a lot of baggage. He's been pretty controversial.
For sure, he's been accused of platforming conspiracy theories, spreading misinformation, just generally stirring the pot.
Yeah, he's waded into some pretty murky waters.
Yeah.
From COVID skepticism to vaccines and who knows what else. So could this backfire on Trump? Could it alienate those moderate voters who are put off by Rogan's more out there views?
It's a gamble for sure. You've got Trump potentially tapping into Rogan's massive loyal fan base, maybe gaining votes from people who trust Rogan's judgment. But yeah, on the other hand, there's a risk of turning off those voters who are worried about Rogan's credibility.
Right.
It really highlights how much the political landscape is changing. We're moving away from those traditional media gatekeepers. Now you've got people with huge online platforms who have this incredible influence.
It's not just podcasters either. YouTubers, Twitch streamers, even TikTokers. They're shaping political opinions in ways we've never seen before.
Absolutely. And that raises a whole bunch of questions. about accountability, about bias, about misinformation.
It's kind of scary when you think about
It
it.
puts a lot of responsibility on voters. They have to be more careful, more critical.
They can't just blindly trust anyone, no matter how entertaining they are.
Yeah, right. We need to evaluate the information ourselves, think about different perspectives, and then make informed decisions. But there's one more thing about this Rogan-Trump thing that I think we need to unpack.
Oh, what's that?
Well, remember how Rogan actually said some positive things about Kamala Harris before he endorsed Trump?
Yeah, he even praised her campaign strategy.
Exactly. It's weird, right? It makes you wonder if there's something more to this endorsement than we're seeing on the surface.
Okay, I'm listening.
Maybe it's not just about who Rogan's voting for. Maybe it's about a message he's trying to send.
A message.
Think about his podcast. He has guests from all over the place, scientists, athletes, comedians, politicians from both sides.
He loves a good debate. He likes to be challenged.
Exactly. So maybe, just maybe, his endorsement of Trump isn't about agreeing with Trump's policies. Maybe it's about wanting something different.
Different how?
Like a shakeup of the system, a rejection of how things are.
So you're saying he might be drawn to Trump as a political outsider?
Maybe. And a lot of voters feel the same way, especially younger people. They're tired of the way things are. They want someone who will change things up.
Like they're saying, we've tried it your way and it's not working.
Right. That's what makes this election so fascinating. It's not just about two candidates, it's about a bigger shift in society.
Between the establishment and the people who want to tear it all down.
And you've got people like Rogan caught in the middle.
And all this is happening online.
On podcasts, social media forums.
It's a whole new world.
The old rules don't apply anymore.
It's exciting and confusing.
Definitely keeps us on our toes.
So with all this in mind, what should our listeners be thinking about as they head to the polls?
I think the most important thing is to be informed. Be critical. Don't just believe everything you hear, even if it's from someone you like Joe Rogan.
Do your own research.
Consider different viewpoints.
And make up your own mind. Your vote matters. This election is going to be close, so make sure you get out there and vote.
Could have said it better myself.
All right, deep divers, that wraps up our deep dive into the Joe Rogan endorsement. It's a crazy situation. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. Will Rogan's endorsement make a difference? Who are you voting for? We want to hear from you.
Well, remember how Rogan actually had some nice things to say about Kamala Harris before he came out and endorsed Trump?
Yeah, he even praised her campaign strategy.
Exactly. It makes you wonder if there's something more to this endorsement than we're seeing.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Maybe it's not just about who he's voting for. Maybe it's about a bigger message he's trying to send.
A message? Like what?
Think about his podcast. He has all sorts of guests on there. Scientists, athletes, comedians, you name it. Politicians from both sides.
He likes to mix it up.
Right. He likes to debate.
Yeah.
He likes to be challenged. So maybe his endorsement of Trump isn't really about agreeing with all of Trump's policies. Maybe it's more about wanting something different. Like a shakeup of the system, you know? Like a rejection of the status quo.
So you're saying he might be drawn to Trump as that kind of political outsider?
It's possible. And it's not just him. A lot of voters feel the same way. Especially younger voters. They're just tired of the way things are. They want someone who will come in and really change things.
It's like they're saying, we've tried it your way and it didn't work.
Exactly. That's what makes this election so interesting. It's not just a contest between two candidates. It's about a much bigger shift in society.
Between the establishment and the people who want to tear it down.
And guys like Rogan are caught right in the middle.
And this whole thing is playing out online.
On podcasts, on social media, everywhere.
It's a whole new world.
The old rules don't apply.
It's exciting, but it's also kind of scary.
Definitely keeps us on our toes.
So as we head into Election Day with all this going on, what's the most important thing for our listeners to keep in mind?
I think the most important thing is to be informed. Be critical. Don't just take someone's word for it, even if it's someone you like. Even if it's Joe Rogan.
Do your own research. Think for yourself. And most importantly, get out there and vote. Every vote counts. This election is going to be close.
Couldn't agree more.
All right, deep divers, that's our deep dive into the Joe Rogan endorsement bombshell. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more, and let us know what you think in the comments. Will Rogan's endorsement sway the election? Who are you voting for? Let's keep the conversation going.